Recording now.
Cloudberry Dream.
Oh, okay.
Bring it in.
It's bad luck. All right, you can start whenever you want. We're recording.
That is not bad. That is not bad at
Bubble
all,
party.
actually. Dude.
Bubble party hard.
Oh my god.
Cool.
That was good. All right. What's up, guys? It's Gritty ReBoot. Brennan here with Joe and Chris. Today we got a really... It is insane the amount of backstory this stupid franchise has. I'll get into that in a minute. But today we're going to do Thomas Uprising. So you guys remember Thomas the Tank Engine from when you were kids? That's another one the kids got really into for a little bit. I started noticing when I was watching it that there are some seriously weird authoritarian undertones to this series.
Are you surprised?
Not really. I mean, it's set.
But yeah, like
It's Britain in a labor situation with an aristocrat, as they call him, the fat controller in the books. Like it's management versus labor.
Are there unions?
I assume so. Yeah,
I would hope so.
I mean, they don't get it. The episodes I've seen, you don't see a lot of the
Well, that's their problem right there.
the Cockneys that work the rail yards.
Yeah, that's true.
So, this series was conceived by Reverend Wilbert Awdry and started being published back in 1945. To get into his backstory a little bit, this guy is bonkers for trains. He, when the TV show started coming out, would write to the networks about inaccuracies with how they were being portrayed. Like there's one where...
Like how the trains are being...
Yeah, like there's
So
one
he
where,
didn't... He's like, yeah, talking trains aside.
Yeah.
That rail is clearly not regulation size.
Those trees are too close to the rail lines and will catch on
Improbable, wouldn't happen.
did you find any specific quotes from him?
Actually, there's not really a quote, but in his writing, it comes up. There's an episode where Henry the Green Train shoots some coal dust on some kids, and the text of the book says that they ran away black as N-words.
Whoa.
And so
Shut
when
this
he got
whole reboot down. Shut it down.
He got
Shut
called
it
out
down.
on that. And his response was to say, that's not that bad. It took like months of bad press for this guy to relent and finally be like, okay, I'll change it in the publication. So
when was this?
this is
Probably like
that was
70s, 80s?
60s or 70s,
Okay.
yeah. I mean,
It would have to be in the 60s before the civil rights movement, because... Or he's like in the South. Where is he from?
he's in England.
He's in England.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
I mean, what the shit?
So yeah, not a super woke dude.
No.
So, all right, to get into the reboot, let's talk about...
But hold on, I just like this. He's like super, like, he's like, yeah, my language aside, he's like, fuck them, but like, those trees are too close to the track. Talking trains and everything, that's fine. But he's an asshole.
The technical accuracies, he's not willing to budge on.
Doesn't budge on that except for the talking train.
Racist language, though?
Totally fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine by him.
Okay.
So yeah, he's an asshole.
Don't go to England. Got it.
And he
In the 70s, I guess.
or just in general.
I don't know. I kind of like fried fish. Let's get back to this.
Okay.
We could talk about fried foods all day.
The setting of the books in the TV show is the Isle of Sodor, which has been confirmed to be a part of the UK. So it is under the dominion of the crown.
So British rule.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Hong Kong situation.
No. There is so much history of this stupid fictitious island with living trains on it.
Really?
So, yeah, I just looked up because I'm, doing my due diligence.
Yeah,
I wanted to
Sure.
see what was
Brennan's
going on
really
with
into
this
trains now.
place. I'm really into trains.
Really into trains. Tunneling trains. logging trains.
On the Wikipedia page for the Isle of Sodor, there are probably... This is just Wikipedia. There's 8 paragraphs of history. Now you go to the Thomas the Tank Engine Wikipedia entry, or the wiki entry on Wikia. Let's see. We've got sections for economy, history. The history section stretches on, I'm going to say 25 paragraphs. I'm just going to read one section to give you guys an example of how in-depth this asshole got. Okay. Later in 1263, Alexander III claimed Sodor, and in 1267 bought Man from its last king. With the power struggle between England and Scotland that started in 1290, the land changed hands many times, depending on who had the upper hand at the time. Eventually, Edward III annexed them in 1333 and gave them to the Montacutes, who 50 years later sold them to William le Scrope. Henry IV had Scrope beheaded in 1399 and gave the islands to the Percy family. It goes on like this. This paragraph after paragraph.
Island of talking trains.
But this is the history of this history lesson is about the train island.
Yes.
This is under the Thomas the Talking Train.
Yes.
The little engine that could.
Yes.
That's the same train, right? The little engine that is it?
No.
Okay.
It's not.
Different trains.
Yeah.
Right. Both talking.
So yeah,
different power strokes.
Supposedly it's between.
Are they in the same universe? That's the question.
That's what I want to know.
Oh.
I hope not, because this universe is dark.
What
the little engine that tried.
The little engine...
And then tried to start a labor union, and then was beheaded.
So yeah, I mean, they
Shooter!
They talk about, like, beheadings and, like, executions and stuff in the history of this stupid fucking train universe. But in the history of the show, the Sodor is kind of next to the Isle of Man in the UK. They have a lot of shared history there. But there's also a local people of Sodor called the Sudrians that for a while kind of in the same fashion as like the Picts and the Celts got assimilated into like the Norman Tudor like people. But the Sudrians were traditionally the natives of Sodor, and that'll come up a little bit later. So the conditions on Sodor in 1919 I've been watching a lot of Peaky Blinders, so I mean this is pretty easy. It's squalor, lots of.
So now we're in the setting of the movie. This is
now we're in the setting of the movie. So
make that clear to everybody. This is the start of what is it called?
Thomas Uprising.
Thomas Uprising.
Yeah.
So we're doing kind of like a fucking transformer deal.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a blockbuster. Okay, so that's the tone of the movie. This is a summer blockbuster.
This is a Michael Bay.
Yeah,
blockbuster.
We're talking like a $200 million SFX budget for this movie.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, we open on the rail yards of Sodor in 1919. You've got a lot of young men recently back from the war.
Are they trains? Are they men?
No, they're men.
Okay.
Men
on this island.
Yeah, men have to factor in it. You can't do a whole movie with just talking trains. It's just I've thought about it.
They're all just weaving in and out. It's like, what is this, Wall-E?
So,
there's just tracks everywhere.
Yeah, it's the floor is tracks.
Hold on, I'll be right there.
Okay, so the island, Sudrians of Sodor. Running around. Okay,
do they know about the trains?
Yeah. Yeah, the trains are part of their everyday life.
Does the world know about the trains?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, every machine in this universe
so
has
this
a
is
face.
just normal. All right,
Yeah,
so
it's normal to
No big deal.
the trains are their homies.
And we're opening on Sodor.
Yeah, we're opening on Sodor, probably the rail yards.
Okay.
Super industrial, lots of soot, lots of smoke in the air, like foundry fires, stuff like that.
Cool.
And
Iron
then
Age.
kind of get into like Thomas and like seeing the conditions of the rail yards. And we're talking like, workers being abused by overseers, trains just getting pushed past the point of being operable, like super severe punishments for trains that don't perform. And the reason I want to talk about that is because in the mythology of Thomas the Tank Engine, the thing that trains can aspire to be, that is like, you are the best kind of train, is when you are a very useful engine, which is dark. Like, that is extremely dark.
Follow in line.
Yeah.
You know? Make sure you're
and the best thing you can be is a workhorse.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you are nothing if you are not useful. And so, you know, it's not a fun time to be a train or a worker in this universe. Because it's all based around how useful you are, and when you stop being useful,
you get put out to pasture kind of deal.
Put out to pasture.
Is that for everyone on this island, men and train included?
Yeah.
So even like so maybe the scene should start in the old train yard with the older trains and the older men who are still working and trying to prove their worth and everything, and it could be like them like dying.
Yeah.
They're working so hard, they're killing themselves working to try to prove that they're still
like
useful.
The opening credits kind of show like a train being
put out in the yard, and then you get a feel for like the whole yard.
I'm seeing like a big rock quarry.
Totally. And so like that, and then you could even like when you pan to the bad guy, it should be like nice. Like really smooth trains.
Like he's in his mansion
and like bullet trains and stuff like that. Like very, very nice. And it's like, but they're all, everything hinders on the performance of these old trains.
But we haven't gotten to the bad guy yet.
Okay, let's talk about the bad guy.
Yeah,
but also, is Thomas... Wait, are we doing... Right? Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa. So is he just passing through seeing all this
No,
stuff?
Thomas...
Or
okay,
is he like in the shit
he's like...
with them?
He's in the shit. He's like a foreman. So here's the thing. In the cartoon...
So he's a bitch.
Thomas is... Okay, first let's talk about Topham Hatt. So Sir Topham Hatt is the they call him the Fat Controller in the books. He's the overseer of the Sodor Railworks.
Is he the bad guy?
He is absolutely, not just in the show, he is the bad guy.
Okay.
Like, no question about it. He is authoritarian. He is totally willing to punish people and trains that do not...
And runs the train yard.
Yeah, and he runs it with a
iron fist.
Fucking iron fist.
No pun intended. Or pun intended.
But Thomas is like his... I want to say liaison, but he ends up giving Thomas the bulk of like the special assignments. So Thomas is working for Topham Hatt, and
sounds like a narc to me.
Yeah, I don't.
So maybe he has like a realization.
So that's
where that goes. Okay,
that's I think.
So let's start from the opening scene is. It would be, you know, what would be really cool is Thomas traveling from the controller's office in the super nice part of town with the bullet trains, everything's clean, and then he travels home and gets to the old train yard, and you see those essentially slave workers and these old engines like pulling things and like sweating and like being like abused and stuff, and he gets back there, and that's like where he's got to drop something off.
No, he's going home for the night, and that's when he meets his buddy. I just called him Labor Guy in the script. You got to have like a labor leader character too to represent like the
humans.
Of the humans.
Yeah, the grizzled guy.
So he pulls in and you know they commiserate about like God, things have gotten awful since everyone came back from the war and you know Topham Hatt got so much more authority. Yeah, well it's right after World War I.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So you know that's them discussing the state of the world, and I think the thing that's going to push Thomas away from Topham Hatt and towards revolution is a thing that actually happened in the show. There's a character called Henry the Green Engine who gets a new paint job, and one day he refuses to go out of his tunnel into the rain because he doesn't want to spoil his new paint job. Mm-hmm. So as punishment...
That's fair.
Topham Hatt bricks him into a tunnel alive and leaves him there for 3 weeks.
I actually remember that from a kid.
So that's the breaking point.
Yeah.
It's like he could. So Thomas, that's his buddy, and Thomas goes back to the train yard to meet with him. The foreman comes out. Oh, hey there, Tom. How you doing? Blah blah. Just smoking a cigar, or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, you didn't hear about what's his name?
Henry.
You didn't hear about Henry? Fucking you."
What if Thomas is tasked? Like, you want to be on my team? I'm Mr. Team Topham Hatt or whatever. You have to break in.
Well, how's he gonna do that? He doesn't have arms.
Yeah, see, no, so he...
We're talking about talking train universe. I'm sure we can
it's not. They don't have arms.
Yeah,
the
so...
workers can
no,
put
it
it on the
should...
track and then
I think it's still...
pushes
It should be
and-
the foreman saying, hey, did you hear about...
I like how you were smoking.
Yeah,
For those watching, you can see, but
Yeah, I'm
listening,
smoking,
you couldn't
yeah.
see that.
Real time, you listen to it. Oh, my God. He's like, you didn't hear about... Dude, you should go fucking check him. He's fucking walled up. And so he goes and breaks him. He fucking...
Oh wait, no. He leaves him in there.
Or leaves him in there.
He leaves him in there.
Okay. But that's his breaking point. Is like,
He
motherfucker,
sees
you
the
locked
wall,
up my buddy.
You know, hears him screaming.
Does
from the
Henry
inside of the
get
wall.
Stockholm syndrome?
What?
Henry gets Stockholm syndrome and
No,
has to go head to toe with Thomas.
Well,
for
he's in there
starting
by
the
himself.
revolution.
He's just slowly going insane. It's
But
like
what I'm thinking is like, you know, Thomas has this realization, blah blah blah. We discuss what goes on further for the meat of the movie. But what if Henry does get released and has Stockholm syndrome, so to speak, and
they use him as a tool.
A tool to go
against Thomas.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and then he does the whole buddy shit.
You gotta turn the page.
No.
Unless you can get through.
We're getting there. Okay, so Thomas, after seeing Henry bricked up, calls for a general strike. Humans and trains, nobody's working for Topham Hatt anymore until conditions change. So I think then, I don't know, maybe we just have like a montage of him like traveling the rails, doing these propaganda speeches.
Kind of like
Both of them
Braveheart.
should be doing it.
Yeah, him and the labor guy, like he's riding on top of Thomas.
No. Obviously both of them, but I mean, Topham Hatt needs to be doing this too. Like,
Oh yeah,
he needs to be
counter speeching.
to the rich part of England. Like, look, this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna take your shit away. Blah blah blah. They want to ruin, kind of like a Trump scenario.
Sure.
You're gonna take your your suburbs away and shit like that. You don't want this socialist train to come in here and ruin everything.
Oh, and that's absolutely Thomas is totally full on socialist.
Yeah.
He's got Marx in his fucking cabin. So it's fomenting this rebellion. You know, people are flocking to both sides. So Hatt gets pissed off because like he starts getting calls from like the munitions minister, because I think what Sodor does is they supply all of the like military equipment for England. And he's like, you got to get your shit together. You got to get your people back in the factories. So
That's a cool aspect.
Topham Hatt calls in the breakers. And this is another thing that actually comes direct from the books. The breakers are what happens when a train dies or stops working. They go to the breaking yard, and the breakers disassemble the trains. And there's actually a fucking horrifying panel from the book that shows a very sad train standing next to a guy with a cutting torch. And in the background, you can see a train that has had the face removed, and the only thing left is a black hole.
Jesus Christ.
So those are Topham Hatt's like enforcers. So he calls these guys
The
in.
breakers?
Yeah, he calls the breakers in. The breakers start going around attacking trains.
That's fucking ruthless.
So after they kill this train named Percy, who's one of Thomas's buddies, Thomas is like, we got to take this. We got to bump this up a notch to the next level. So they start collecting allies. The first thing he does is make an alliance with the Diesels. In the books and the show, the Diesels are like the worst insult, and like it's classist nonsense. Like the trains hate the Diesels because the Diesels are like low class blue collar dipshits. But they're also, they're dirty. One of them has like a shovel
Strong
arm that it
workers.
uses.
Yeah.
So they make an alliance with the Diesels. They make an alliance with a city bus named Birdie, and then they find a traction engine named Trevor at a breaking yard. And Trevor ends up being like their loose cannon enforcer because he's not bound to the tracks.
Yeah, he can go
wherever
anywhere.
he
Yeah.
wants. So they get Trevor to start attacking the breakers. Everything starts escalating between the humans and the trains who are fighting with each other, like alongside each other. I'm thinking what happens next.
A strong Maximum Overdrive vibe.
Yeah. No, it's
mixed with like the Hunger Games.
just wait till I read this next part.
Oh shit.
Speaking of Maximum Overdrive, during a night raid by the breakers, this is when things are really starting to escalate. Gordon, who's like the big, tough, vain, proud train, he's like the strongest train there is.
Beefcake.
They're getting attacked by the breakers at night. It's like a surprise attack. Gordon eats one of them alive.
Okay.
And then overloads his engine, killing himself and several breakers. So then we go to next day. Topham Hatt's sitting in his mansion reading the paper, just fucking pissed, and gets a call from the Minister of Munitions, who tells him the military is being sent to help quell this rebellion that Thomas is putting on. So Thomas has a spy in a Hat's office, so he gets word of this too.
Wait,
so
real quick question.
yeah.
Is it only talking trains, or
Oh, no.
are the helicopters talking?
There's no helicopters yet. It's 1920.
Well, you just said... Didn't you? Never mind.
No, you said a city bus.
City bus.
All machines talk.
Yeah.
All motorized
yeah.
vehicles talk.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it is...
You should have prefaced that earlier.
Okay,
I
yeah.
think too.
All right, my bad.
Sorry. There is a helicopter character, but he's,
It's
not.
1919.
He hasn't been born yet.
We don't even have
Born.
the jet engine yet.
So Thomas needs some firepower of his own. So he makes a deal with the Sodor Republican Army,
Cool.
which is the Sudrian people who want independence from the crown. So it's exactly, just think IRA, but with fucking goofy talking train buddies.
So that's okay. So now we have to get. So let's start the movie. He goes back to his train yard.
Mm-hmm.
He's working for Top Hat. He loves his job because he's on the fast track to be in the fucking.
But he loved his job. And then
No,
after
this is in the
yeah.
beginning of the movie. He loves his job. Blah blah blah. Goes back to hometown. Sees all these buddies. Sees that his buddy's been locked up. Gets pissed. And now starting a revolution.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now he's hired
Now he's hired the SRA.
the SRA. Okay.
Because they'll be fighting with the military, because now it's not just a labor dispute. This is a full-on war for the soul of the Sudrian people. And so, of course, we got to do a montage.
So it's a land battle.
It's a land battle. It's a guerrilla warfare, kind of like, pubs getting blown up, like, what do you call it? Collaborator trains that are still working for Topham Hatt, just getting toppled by landmines, like... we need to get a montage soundtrack. Sound effect too.
Yeah.
We gotta get one of those.
We need a soundboard.
Yeah.
But I think this is probably a good idea, or good time to take a break.
Yeah.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah.
Cool. So...
All right, back from the break. Yeah. So where we left off, Sodor is basically in full-on civil conflict right now, and Topham Hatt is losing control. So he decides
Freaking out.
Thomas needs to die.
Yep.
So he brings in the American. The American.
And this is also in the books?
No. This is
This is all fan fiction now.
Fan fiction.
Okay,
at this
cool.
point.
Okay. The American.
But it is based on a meme. There's
Okay, we don't need to. No, just go on with the story. We don't need to hear that.
The American that he brings in is a railway gun named Chuck. Now,
Chuck.
A railway gun is a cannon mounted on the back of a train that is too large to be moved by any other means unless it's like boat mounted at this point.
And this is Chuck.
Chuck.
He's the cannon.
He's
That
an
is-
American-made railway gun.
Cool. Does he have tilt shift? Or is he just pointed one direction? Or can
No,
he
he's pointed one way.
swivel?
You gotta maneuver him on the tracks.
Perfect.
He's a sniper.
Can he maneuver himself, or does a human have to be on him to maneuver
I mean,
him around?
you can.
Well, he would be autonomous because all of the things are autonomous.
Yeah, but
He
I guess
can-
he could. Yeah,
he'd have to be on a
he can
turret.
Swivel his gun.
Yeah.
yeah.
So he's on a turret. He can spin around.
Yeah,
All right,
but he's
cool.
not like he's like a.
That was pivotal in the story.
Jesus.
It actually.
Christ. Get out.
Shut it down. Shut this whole thing down.
Get the fuck
Thomas
out.
the Train Engine's stupid. This is stupid. We're done.
Okay. So yeah, his character, he's an assassin. He's a long distance, like he'll be on the
Mercenary.
other side. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So things are just getting out of control. Sodor is in flames.
How big is
at
this
point.
island, by the way?
It is about 60 miles wide by about 50 miles long.
What is? You have to give me a reference for that.
Rhode Island?
Okay, perfect. So it is Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
It's a battle of Rhode Island.
So
Basically, yeah.
There's a train village in Rhode Island.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
How do they get the trains from the island to the to England? Is
There,
there a tunnel?
there was
Talking boats, dude.
there was a railway
doesn't
line
make
that
sense.
was going to stretch to the mainland, and then they ran out of funding for it. This is actually I read about this last night. This is actually
So
a
in
thing
the
that
movie,
happened.
that's something that Topham Hatt should have finished. He
Is the-
said that
the
he
mainland
shut
track-
it down.
Oh, that's how the military gets in.
That's how they keep
Yeah.
coming back and forth. They keep they're getting all these attacks and stuff, and
Yeah.
people go missing and things like that. They're like, how the fuck is this happening? It's because Topham Hatt has finished the tunnel
Yeah.
and has lied about it this whole time. And then the train engine that was locked in the tunnel,
Hank?
Henry.
Well, Hank.
Henry
Hank the Tank.
knows about it and then can tell Thomas.
So then they try to blow up the mainland line.
Mm-hmm.
But Thomas.
Yeah, okay, that actually
But
fit-
Thomas
that-
has
that
to
fits
turn
perfect.
him. But Thomas has to turn Henry back.
We'll get into that in a second. That actually fits in perfect right after they call in Chuck, the railway gun. They figure out the military's coming through from this Finnish railway tunnel that's like a channel, and so they try to blow that up. That could initiate this final conflict. I was gonna have Thomas surrender on the condition that he gives everyone a pass or like a lighter sentence or like improves conditions. But it makes more sense to have the final conflict work as they're trying to do a sabotage mission.
They have to.
It's a trap.
They should kill Topham by taking his face off and turning him into a labor train.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I love that though. Jesus Christ.
No. They don't need to turn him into a train. They just need to stick him in the workers' camp.
I want to see his face getting fucking chopped off and put on a train, though. That's fucked up.
That's pretty
fucked.
cool.
I mean, but that also ruins his life, because he could be telling everyone, I'm Topham Hatt, and everybody's like, oh yeah, okay, good boy.
Where's your hat now?
Yeah.
So we're in the last 10 minutes of the movie here. So I like this idea better if they show up to blow up this tunnel and it's a trap.
A trap for who though?
For Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Topham
So Hatt plans
set
to
a
have
trap.
Thomas assassinated by Chuck. I think what's going to happen is the shell meant for Thomas gets intercepted by Airy the Diesel, who's become war comrades with Thomas at this point. So then I think Labor guy, our socialist labor leader, is gonna have a man versus giant gun battle with Chuck.
That'd be sweet.
Where he's just got a cutting torch and he's just trying to.
No, what would be really cool is if it's so I'm gonna. Is Henry a good guy or a bad guy right now?
Henry's a good guy. Henry is very pivotal for
Okay.
this next few.
Because what I was gonna
few
say
minutes.
is they're fucking head to head. So obviously other tunnels come into this one tunnel to get everything out. So it's Gunn, Thomas facing each other down. Gunn shoots. Henry comes in, intercepts the bullet.
Airy. Sorry, Airy is the diesel that intercepts it.
No, I think it should be Henry.
Well, I got something planned for Henry.
Because
let's hear what you have
Yeah,
for
what's your plan for Henry?
Okay, so
then?
here's my plan for Henry.
Hold on, let me say the final thing. So it's the fight between the labor guy and the
gun.
and the gun.
And
so
then
it
Hatt and Thomas is the other fight.
that's great.
Yeah.
So what should be Thomas gets out of the tunnel
Uh-huh.
and goes because he's fighting the gun guy is fighting with
Yeah.
So what it should be is the gun guy, he's big and fucking strong and stuff. Or not the gun guy, but the labor guy.
Yeah.
He's super strong and he's gonna shoot at Thomas again because they're battling and stuff, and Thomas is kind of hurt, and he's gonna shoot at Thomas again. And the labor dude just pulls up he's super strong, so he pulls up the gun and shoots it straight in, water just floods the tunnel and kills both of them.
That is tight.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so perfect with the casting I'm going to talk about for that guy too. Oh shit. Okay.
Right.
And that's why I'm saying I don't know what your plan for Henry is, but Henry, who has been this whole time has been in my mind working for Topham Hatt, is taken out of the tunnel and redesigned to work for Topham Hatt. Kind of a bad guy for a little while, but then at the end of the movie he comes in, saves Thomas's life by taking the bullet from the guy, and then he's like, oh no, and then he's like, yeah, I fucking got you, and he's about to shoot again, and that's when the other guy comes in and lifts, and he's like, oh, fucking 2 trains for the price of 1, blah, blah, blah. He's like, another fucking nitroid belt or whatever, and he pulls it up, floods the tunnel, and then Thomas gets out safely and then goes to fight.
That actually works pretty much. So the way I was going to do it was as Topham Hatt and Thomas are confronting each other, Hatt was gonna like do something like mock him, and Thomas basically derails himself to try to get to him because he's stuck on the tracks, and Hatt's fucking over here, and he's like struggling to like get to him to crush him. Hatt's just like wandering around him, like shooting him with a pistol. The way I was gonna have it end is they're right in front of Henry's tunnel, and at this point you think he's dead, and then you see the lights come on in the tunnel, and he bursts out.
He can still do that.
Yeah.
He can still do that. So we think that he's dead now. So he has turned into a good guy.
And that's what I'm saying.
And we think that he's dead. Yeah. And then the final battle is by the walled up thing, because that's what Topham Hatt, he wants to wall the whole island off and stop trains from coming in. And then that's when fucking Henry can bust through the wall and save the day. And it's like, and then they can both team up. Like Henry can bust through the wall to knock Thomas back onto another track that would hit Topham Hatt. So it's like a double team kind of deal. So he's like, we think that he's dead, but he's not. Well, he's a bad guy. Then he turns into a good guy and then dies. And we're like, no. And then
he comes back.
He's like, fucking Topham Hatt should have a rivet gun. Not a pistol, but like a rivet gun. And riveting, like nailing his pinning him to the tracks.
Yes.
So he's like, dink, and he's like, you fucking out, you ruined my life, dink. You can't do that. And then he's like, yeah, he's got it to his head. He's like, this is going to be the final one. And that's when he fucking comes in. Henry goes through the thing, knocks him off the tracks and whips him around so he can be like face to face with him and then just be like, boom, and just dunk.
I'm in love with the idea of the trains just eating people because I think it's so fucking horrifying.
Or
he just takes his arm in his mouth and throws him up and he goes straight into his boiler and burns to death.
That would be cool too. But I think also keeping him alive.
Yeah.
And putting him in the work camp with all the other.
Just dropping him off.
Just drop him in the work camp.
Circle him with wrenches and shit.
Yeah, and be like, oh, I'm Topham Hatt. And they're like, oh, yeah, you are. Okay, buddy, blah, blah, blah. And then if this movie takes off, then you can do the rise of
Return of Topham Hatt. Yeah, so I was thinking for right after this fight, the way I had it conceived is like everyone's so fucked up at this point. Like the Crown's come in with the military. It's going to have kind of a bleak, sad ending where they're all, executed for rebellion or whatever. But the last thing you see is, Topham Hatt's hat lying on like the smoldering train tracks. And then cut to black, epilogue, and it's a statue of Thomas with Labor Guy, riding on top of him with all of his comrades. And it's like, commemorating the Sodor labor massacre. And it's a bunch of students and a teacher talking about like, this is the site of fucking Thomas eating that jackass alive. And fucking roll credits.
No, it should. So roll credits.
Yeah.
And then do the Marvel thing, post credits. Thomas should have a very distinct whistle.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, so when that happens. Okay. So end of the credits, here lies blah, blah, blah. He saved our country, blah, 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 blah. Credits are rolling, and then you just see a dark tunnel, and then it lights up, and then his train horn, and it's like, whatever it does, and then boom. Because then that initiates a sequel.
It's fucking Captain America, the First Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, yeah. Then the sequel can have like helicopters and sports cars and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Dude, that's fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
You're welcome.
Fuck yeah. Let's talk about casting now. Did you guys ever see Ant-Man?
Yeah.
The bad guy from Ant-Man?
Paul Rudd.
His name is Corey Stoll.
Paul Rudd, got it. Yeah.
Sure, Paul Rudd. We're going to talk about Paul Rudd every single episode.
Corey Stoll.
Corey Stoll. He's the bald guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think him as Topham Hatt.
No, it should be an older man.
You think an older guy?
Yeah.
What about Jason Statham as Topham Hatt?
No. He's too young. He's too... No, because he wouldn't do that. He doesn't play bad guys like that. We would need like Mel Gibson.
Well, it's got to be a bald guy. Or someone who looks good bald, I guess. What about...
Patrick Stewart.
Too nice.
Too old.
What about Bruce Willis?
Yeah?
He's not English, though.
He could put on an accent.
Nah.
No, I don't know if he can.
Okay, what about
I mean, he's never done
Does
it.
Topham Hatt need to be English?
Yeah, he's
Yes.
like an aristocrat, so yeah, he's
Yeah.
part of. I mean, he's House
And
of
then you
Lords.
bring in the American, so
Okay,
he's got to
so
be.
he has to be.
Yeah.
He's got to be British.
So maybe like
House. The dude who plays House.
Hugh Laurie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on. Yeah, I'm on. That's good.
He's a great.
Yeah, he's
actor.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
can play mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, is he English?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
He does a great American accent though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was English.
Dude, he's awesome.
That whole show.
All right, yeah, Hugh Laurie is Topham Hatt. I'm into that. For Labor Guy, Joe Manganiello.
That'd be tight.
Dude, he's huge. So
Or
he's,
Batista.
He's, when he pulls the gun out.
Joe Manganiello's too pretty though.
Are you kidding me? That guy's made of meat and potatoes.
No, but he's got like a structurally set, like Batista is like looks like you could put makeup on Batista and have him look old.
You just want to use
and with-
Batista and
You
everything.
do?
Well, duh.
Yeah, I have
mean,
Dave Batista in here.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. No, we need like a
he's a
bigger,
Bigger than Joe
like
Manganiello? He's like
What about the
fucking
dude who plays
6'5".
Dolph Lundgren. That would be a bad motherfucker, dude. He's a
Bad though.
So would the fucking laborer. He's been working at the
but I mean,
train
Dolph-
yards for
Dolph-
35 years.
He's like
Too old?
elderly though.
Oh.
How old is or what about the dude that played Hagrid? Is he actually a bigger gentleman or is he?
Jonathan Rhys Davies. Yeah, he's a pretty big dude. That could be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got. I mean,
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
We could use, and he could
body
have like
mass.
this.
Yeah.
And
I
just
can
lift
see
it up.
him playing
Yeah.
more of a hardened character.
And I was thinking there's got to be a Sodor Republican Army guy too, and so you guys know who Tommy Flanagan is?
That sounds so. No.
He's the Danny Trejo of Irish gangster characters. He plays Chibs in Sons of Anarchy. He plays the father of the Shelby clan in Peaky Blinders. Plays Laszlo Soot in Smokin' Aces. He's the Irish guy with the Glasgow grin. With the scars on his cheeks.
Oh. In Smoking Aces, is he the one that does all the faces
Yep.
and stuff? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Tommy Flanagan gets...
He'd be tight, yeah,
He
the
has
scar
built
on
a
his face.
career playing Irish gangsters.
Yeah.
So, I mean, perfect. For voice casting, Dave Batista as Gordon, the big tough train. who
That's
eats
cool,
the dude.
yeah.
Yeah. For Henry, I was thinking Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That works, yeah. Kind of goofy, kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovable, but
Yeah.
but could also be a bad guy for a little while.
Yeah, totally. Airy the Diesel, the shitty Cockney guy. Fucking Michael Douglas.
You know what? Now I'm thinking Michael Douglas should be Topham.
Can he do an English accent?
That doesn't fucking matter. It's fucking Michael Douglas, dude.
He does have the most sinister voice known to man.
Or Michael Douglas, or Charlie Sheen's dad. Michael Sheen?
Michael Sheen?
Because he was fucking rad in Spawn as the bad guy.
Yeah?
He would be a good,
And also, Topham Hatt, I mean, historically he has been English, but he could be just an entrepreneur or
that's true. He could
just a dude that came to England because he could capitalize on the train industry or whatever.
And
maybe his family's
that's why
been in
he
the train.
brings in the American because he's like
Because he is American. Yeah, there we
Okay. Yeah, I'm down for either of those, actually. Those two guys are
go.
evil
Michael
as
Douglas
fuck.
or Michael
Yeah.
Sheen?
You guys remember how there's the traction engine that's kind of like their enforcer?
The guy that can,
Trevor the traction. They find him at the breaker yard.
he's the one that can go everywhere,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
yeah.
Billy Connolly.
I don't know who that is.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he the one that he was one of the bad guys in Scream? One of the
No, that's
fucking-
Skeet.
No.
Ah.
So did you ever see...
How could you
Also
forget
Ted.
that?
I know you don't like Lord of the Rings movies, so that's out for you. But did you ever see Muppet Treasure Island?
I mean, years ago.
Yeah, he's the crazy Irish guy at the very beginning. Billy Connolly's funny as fuck. I think he's...
What was
he's
he
a bunch of
in
other
the
shit,
Lord
too.
of the Rings?
He was Dane Ironfoot in the third Hobbit movie.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, figured you guys that would just go straight over your head. And finally, for Thomas, I was thinking Michael Shannon.
Oh man, he's a badass.
Oh,
He's a
see,
badass.
no, he's too badass.
You
though.
think so?
He should be
Thomas
a
needs to
train, but somebody else.
Yeah,
he
I think
can't
Thomas
be
should be a younger,
Yeah.
like not
Switch it.
Teenage,
Make Joseph Gordon-Levitt
as Thomas,
Michael Shannon as Henry. That would be bad the fuck ass. Because he could be kind of mumbling to himself, oh, these motherfuckers get me, blah, blah. I know about this. He could be talking about this secret tunnel the whole time. Like, oh, because we should show people visiting him.
Yeah.
While he's like locked up and shit like that before he gets out or whatever.
But he is losing his mind. So
Losing his mind.
Okay, crazy guy.
Yeah. Secret tunnel to the mainland. Okay.
Sure, psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear him digging.
Michael Shannon would be good. He plays good crazy.
He's fucking awesome.
Good anything.
Yeah, I love Michael Shannon. Well,
that's
I
it.
think that's a wrap on
That
this
sounds
one.
really good. I like all that. I like that cast. I think it sounds good.
Yeah, so that's Thomas Uprising, the summer blockbuster reboot of Thomas the Tank Engine by racist ass Reverend Wilbert Audrey. And we will be back in 2 weeks with another episode. See you guys then.